Today we're going to try out some Laura Geller. Laura Geller, I feel, is one of those underrated makeup brands. Laura Geller is an amazing makeup artist that started her own line many years ago. We do see a lot of her Bake, Balance, and Brighten on social media, but she has so many other great products I feel are just not talked about because there's so many of these huge brands out there. It's very hard for makeup artists to get the hype that these big brands do. So today we're going to talk about Laura Geller makeup. One of these products I've never used before, but the rest I've been trying out, some of them for several months, some of them more recently, and I'm just going to give you my feedback and my take on how these work on mature skin. Before we put on the eye makeup, I love something on my lips. I've gotten in the habit of doing that now, putting something on while I'm applying all my other makeup. So we might as well apply Laura's Jelly Balm. This is in the shade Just Peachy. It is so moisturizing. I really love this. It's hydrating. It reminds me a lot, if you're trying to think of something from the drugstore, of the L'Oreal, the Paradise lipsticks I've shown several times where they're like a hybrid of a jelly, gloss, lipstick, all in one. That's what this is. It's really hydrating on the lips. I love the way it feels. It's very lightweight. So I think she really hit a home run with this lipstick. I really thought that her brow product would not impress me because I have so many from the drugstore I love, but I have to take all that back. I think this is my favorite brow product now in my collection because it's so easy for me to make a fuller brow. Now her pencil is called the Sculpt-n-Stay. And it's got two things going on here. It's a waterproof brow pencil with a gel. So on one side is a slanted pencil, and I have the shade Taupe. Now what I love about this particular shade for me, and I don't know if this applies to everyone else, I can go beneath the hair, draw a line, blend it, and it really looks real. It doesn't look fake. I don't have to do a lot of combing through my brows. Now on the other side is a little wand with the gel in it. So this helps all that brow product to stay in place, for the brows not to move around. I didn't find this flaky, clumpy, like I hear from a lot of people talking about other products that are gels. So this ended up being a shocker for me. I did not expect to like this so much. I thought, I don't usually pay that much for a brow product. This would have to do a lot to impress me, and it did. I don't have an eyeshadow primer from Laura Geller, so what I did for today is I used her Make It Double. This is an eyeshadow stick and powder. Now the eyeshadow stick on this end is a cream, and I thought, well, that's perfect as a base. And I've been using it for several days as a base for my eyeshadow, and it works great. Now you could wear that on its own. You could also use this as an eyeliner. So I feel like this is so great for travel. I actually took this with me when I went to visit my parents recently, and it was great because it had everything I needed all in one. Now on this side is a powder, and this is great for doing the outer V. You could do the entire eyelid with it. You could use it as eyeliner. You could go under the eyes with it. So great as a multitasker. But I love this for priming the eyes. A while back, I bought this Christmas 2022 palette set on Amazon. I thought, what a great deal, because each of these is an entire look. So make an entrance, face palette. You have the Command the Room. I like that. Steal the Scene, and Turning Heads. So today I decided to use Command the Room. And the reason I wanted to use it is it has this beautiful blue, like a navy, that is a great pop for any eye shade. I think this is amazing. Now, Laura has these labeled. So it has base, lid, crease, liner. So you have a powder liner, the outer corner, and inner corner. Then you've got a highlighter for the cheeks, and you have a blush. So this is really everything you need except, of course, your mascara and also your base products. But wow, this is great. You have 4 of these. So I use this today. I love these. Again, how great for travel to pop one of these in your bag. It's the heavy cardboard, so it's not going to break in the bag. But all of them have slightly different shades. This one here I haven't used yet because I've been hooked on some of the others. But these all have more of a neutral shade. Again, each one of them has the same thing, a liner, an outer corner shade, crease, base. I think it's just amazing. That was Steal the Scene. This one, Turning Heads, has more cool tones in it. So this is perfect, I think, for fall. This is going to look really gorgeous. And then Make an Entrance. This palette has a little warmer shades that are more chocolatey. So all of them are a little bit different. And at first glance, I thought some of them looked so much the same, but as I started looking at the palettes, I could see there were differences. There was a mix of cool tones, warm tones. So I really love that set. 2 other palettes I've purchased, and I have purchased everything in this video. Nothing has been sent to me, is Laura's Essentials. And this is beautiful because these are all mattes here. You have a illuminator here, a highlighter you could use for the eyes, and then also a beautiful Desert Rose blush. Now on Amazon, which is where I purchased these, many times these palettes are around $20 or less. So they're such a great deal. This one I've mentioned before, the Casual Collection. This is Copper and Khaki, and I really love these shades. They all have a mirror on them, and they're great for travel. One other thing I love about her eyeshadows is they're so easy to blend. They're really easy to work with, so if you're a beginner, you can feel confident buying these. I think she really sets these up for beginners because, like with the Christmas palettes we talked about, it's all set up where they're even labeled. So you don't have to really think, what color am I going to use here? What color am I going to use there? She has curated them for you. So that's another reason I really love these palettes. And if you do the math, they're $10 a piece. That's cheaper than Milani. If you go to the drugstore to buy a palette like this, most of them are well over $10. So here you're getting really high quality for $10 a piece. I purchased this palette because it's a combination of 2 of her baked blushes, 2 highlighters, and 2 bronzers. So I thought, how perfect is that? And it contains my favorite highlighter. This is her French Vanilla. I already had one of these here and I knew how great it was. So I was excited that it was going to be in the palette because if I decide to travel with this, it's already in here. These are beautiful. Most of you that have bought Laura Geller, I bet you've either bought her foundation powder or one of her blushes. Those are 2, I'm sure, of her best-selling products. But this is fantastic because you have it all in one, a variety to choose from, and they all work excellent. Laura's mascara, I feel, does a beautiful job with the lashes. The brush is just like, I would say, like a Lash Paradise from L'Oreal or the Too Faced mascara we know about. It's not quite as curved. It comes in a little bit at the middle, not as much as some that are designed like the Hourglass. But I can really grab the lashes with it. It's not a plastic brush in the bristles. It's more of an old-fashioned kind of brush. It really grabs the lashes. I like that this doesn't clump. It separates the lashes really nicely. And I got this for a good price. When I bought it, I think it was around $15. But I really do love this mascara. I think it works really well. We talk so much about Laura's baked blushes and bronzers, but what about her liquid blush? She has one called the Serum Blush, and it's a cheek tint. If you're looking for something really soft, natural looking that blends easily into the skin, maybe you don't want to even use brushes, you want to use your fingers to apply your makeup, I think this works beautifully. It does sink into the skin. It doesn't have a strong pigment unless you build it. If you just go in with 2 little drops like I did, it's going to sheer out really soft looking, but it is buildable. So you can add more to the skin if you really want those cheeks to pop. Now let's talk about the face. So many of you, I'm sure, have seen the Spackle. Now her Spackle comes in different formulas. So there's more of just a clear formula. I wanted one because I was so curious if it would look like the Drunk Elephant de Bronzy. It wasn't quite as thin, a little thicker, but it did give me that look. So it's meant to be a face primer. If you like a very natural look to your skin, you could just put this on alone and wear it like that, but it is called a primer. You could even mix it with your foundation. Today I wanted to just apply it to my skin alone so you could see how it would look all on its own. I also bought her Quench-N-Tint Hydrating Foundation. Now I would call this a very light coverage. When I put this on, I can still see a little of my discoloration in my skin. I can still see a little bit of brokenness in the capillaries around the nose. So if you're wanting more coverage, I don't think this is what you're looking for. But if you like something thin, this is very creamy. I love the way it blends out on the skin. It blends beautifully. I didn't even need a brush or a sponge. I could only use my fingers and still get nice coverage. As I wore it during the day, it did tend to sort of dissipate a little bit, but you got to consider I'm in Florida and I'm going in and out of the house with so much humidity right now, you wouldn't believe. So what I did like is as the day went on, it wore away very naturally. It wasn't blotchy. I didn't see it like sitting in pores or anything. So it really had a natural look to it, which I like. I wasn't unhappy at the end of the day with the look of my skin. It just looked like I had a maybe softer look than when I started my day, but it still looked nice on my skin. So I really think if you like a thin product with a little bit of color just to sort of even things out, then this is a great foundation. Now let's get to her most famous product, the Laura Geller Bake Balance and Brighten. I'm in the shade medium. I have tried the light. It was way too light for me, so I can use that sort of as a highlighter, but the medium worked on my skin. Now in her foundation, I was a light medium. That worked beautifully for me. If it would have been medium, it would have been too dark. But in this, because it is a powder, it's a little bit different, and it looks great in the medium. Now, I also have her Bake Balance and Glow. I'm not as much of a fan of this for all over. I think it looks beautiful on the cheeks. Let's put a little bit on now. I'm just going to use a regular brush since I'm putting this on as like a blush, but this gives a nice glow to the skin. But I don't want that kind of a glow all over my skin. I like a more satin finish, and I feel like this is a little too glowy for me. I can't say enough about this brush. When I first bought this for over a year, I never had her brush. I only bought the brush recently because one of you, I think, was just saying, oh, it's not the same without the brush, and I agree. The brush is a game changer. I was using my Double Dome Delium brush, which I love for foundation and other powders. But this is so dense, it's incredible. And it really picks up the foundation. And you'll see, if you ever see her products on Instagram or maybe Facebook ads, either people will press the powder in like this, press it into the pores, or go like this and sort of swipe it on. I feel like either way works. I've tried both. Now, some of you also said you like to put powder on it. I love this idea. Close it up, put the cap on, and put it in your purse. And then if you need a refresh during the day, you don't have to carry any powder with you. Genius. So thank you for that idea. If you have any other ideas about her powders or products, put them in the comments below because we'll all benefit from that. But that was such an amazing tip. But I feel like her powder really makes my skin look smooth and it makes the pores less noticeable. I love it for this area and also the forehead. And it really goes great over other foundations too. So if you have a foundation you already have, you can use this on top for a little more coverage. If you have hyperpigmentation, redness, this is such an amazing powder and foundation. It is really hard for me to pick a favorite out of all these. There isn't one that I say was a stinker, that wasn't a great product. If you've never tried Laura Geller before, which product interests you? Are there any that you're thinking of purchasing? Speaking of that, all the links are in the description of the video, and I so appreciate you shopping those links. You are the sponsors of this video, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch and comment. Your comments mean the world to me. I hope you have found this helpful. You'll have a blessed and beautiful week, and I'll see you soon.